As we kick off the hour, we stay right here in Montreal with another superstar. It's Michel Leblanc, the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal. Michel, it's a pleasure to kick off the hour with you. How you doing?
Very well, very well. Mind you, it's the first time that someone used that word for me. I'll take it with all the humility that I can.
You are a Chamber of Commerce superstar. That's what I'll say. So, Michel, let's talk about downtown Montreal. The patient is in intensive care, but I think the messaging here is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Why are you not, quote unquote, worried about downtown Montreal?
Well, to be fair, I'm worried for the short term, and I'm very active in trying to get more help for our businesses downtown, all the retail stores, of course, the restaurants, and everyone that has an office on a floor or in the basement downtown is at risk right now, and we don't want them to collapse. So I'm worried, and I think we will need more actions by the governments to help them. But on the long run, downtown exists for a reason. It makes sense to have workers, colleagues meet, and from business to service providers, being nearby helps develop the business, helps the fluidity of the relations. It happened over centuries that we built those downtowns because it made sense. You know, there were the telephones, there were the faxes of the world. Internet has been around for a while. Teleconference was there before. And there were still lots of good reasons to have the team working together, meet physically. So I'm very confident that at the turn of the pandemic, there'll be probably a new equilibrium. People will work partially from home, but you will see active downtowns, I'm sure of that.
Michel, I get my hair cut on the corner of Peel and Sherbrooke Street at a place called La Coupe. And when I was in last week, you know, this is a business. They had, you know, their main clienteles. You had business people that were in the area that worked downtown. You had the students right around the corner at McGill and the other universities in the area. And you had tourists. And those main three pillars of the downtown are gone. You just said the businesses need more help from government. So for a business like that, what kind of help do they need right now?
Well, there are help on the way as we speak. You know, the government of Quebec announced a few days ago, at least, a few weeks ago now, that they were helping them with their fixed costs, and that was a good announcement. The difficulty is that there's a ceiling to the amount of money that's available, and the ceiling is the same for everywhere. You can be in downtown Magog if you're in a red zone and you're supposed to be shut down, or you could be in Montreal, and if you're shut down, they will help you, but they'll help you to a certain maximum, which is too low. That's for one. Secondly, the help that's more generous is if you're closed, forced to be closed. But as you mentioned, if you have no customers, well, it's almost as if you're closed. So we are going to need to expand the generosity of the programs for those that are not closed to cover their fixed cost. And we'll need to have something of I would say, it's like a level or a ceiling that's movable depending on the level of cost you face. And if you're in downtown Montreal, it's not the same thing than if you're in downtown Rimouski. And if the government covers 80% of your fixed cost, well, it should be more generous if they are more expensive downtown. So these are the types of measures we'll need on the short term. Of course, we would like to have more customers, more people saying, okay, I know my person that cuts my hair, I want to encourage them. I'm going to make a duty to go once in a while and come. And that's very difficult. People are telling me I'm naive. I'm trying, I'm the Don Quixote of the downtown trying to bring people back. But I'm still saying to everyone, we will want to have a lively, safe, secure downtown. At the end of the pandemic, one gesture that we need to make to get that is to come and encourage all those stores, those retail stores, those service providers that are there and that needs us.
We're with Michel Leblanc, president of the Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal, talking about the downtown core and its short-term and long-term prospects. Michel, the last time you were on this program, one of the things you pointed out, it was like, hey, yeah, things are bad, but have you seen the other cities in North America? They're even worse. And I want to know if you're still in that mindset that we are still a stellar performer compared to what's happening in other cities.
Well, when everybody's hit very hard, being stellar, could mean you're just a bit above the other. I'm saying here, first, there's strong mobilization, and we're working hard as a group to try and find solution. One thing I will say is that our downtown is safe. And even now, it's safe. And if you compare it with most downtowns in the U.S. right now, you will say, okay, we're better off. Okay, there's not that tension on the street. That's positive. But again, if you are having a store, it's safe, it's quiet, but it's too quiet, you have no customers, then you're very nervous, and you see the debt piling up, and you don't want more help program that will make you even more indebted. You will want to get real support, subsidies to go through, and this is where we have to find the right balance. We're having tomorrow Chrystia Freeland, the financial minister for Canada, coming at the chamber on the web, and we're going to discuss the level of expenditure that government can support over the next months to support the economy, to support small businesses, and eventually also I'm pushing for downtown strategies. I want governments to have strategies strictly aimed at downtown to help those stores, those retail stores, and all the service providers.
Michel, one of the reasons I like you so much is that you seem to be very frank and open and honest when I ask you questions. I still remember one of the first times you were on this show. It was during a period where there was some controversy over the CAQ government and how they were handling immigration. And you gave it to me honest. You gave me what you felt. You didn't sugarcoat things. So I have to ask you this, and it's a tough question. You can do with it what you want. But in recent weeks, we have seen from Simon Jolin Barrette, who is now in charge of the French language, a pivot where it seems, all signs seem to point that he's going to go hard after, let's say, smaller businesses. He's going to go after businesses less than 50. We have seen businesses on the island of Montreal get visited by language inspectors, by the OQLF. And the message I'm getting from small business owners is like, not now. This is not what we need. And I'd love to know your thoughts.
Okay, that's a tough question, but I'll be very, very as frank as I can be. I think we need to find the good balance here between the fact that it has to be in French. We do not want to have a city that's in turmoil over language. And I'd say in Quebec, if you are a service provider or retail stores, speak to your customer in French. Say bonjour. You don't need to hi. No one does not understand. Everybody understands bonjour. You don't need to say bonjour, hi. It can be offensive, and there's no reason for that. But of course, if you have a tourist coming and that person doesn't know French, and you know French, switch to English. Be a good host. If you're anywhere in the world, you will want that. But where I will get close to you, I'll say, it's not a time to put more paperwork, put regulations that will make all those small business owners and all those employees having to do more rounds of those paperwork to fill up. We need to find ways to encourage the use of French without creating more burden for the small business owners.
All right, Michel, thanks very much for tackling that question. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Michel Leblanc is president of the Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal.